once were somewhat okay and starting on time and not in a hot mess. That's an improvement. So hello everyone and welcome back to another drawing stream. Today we're just pretty much going to pick up where we left off last time and begin working on Iwi Izumi. So for once, let's be proud of me. I actually got all my posts out on time. So all my posts are out on time. I have my chat pulled up. My tablet is plugged in but not turned on. Almost everything. Torbox is here and also turned on. So yeah, I think this is an accomplishment. My mic's connected, everything is okay. Famous last words. But yeah. Now watch everything bite me in the ass when I forget my charger for work tomorrow. Anyway, so hopping on to Iwi Izumi. There are some things I'm probably gonna fix in Oikawa, but that's gonna be at a later time. But for now, Iwa-chan, you're next. Once my... Okay. On the sketch. Okay, there we go. I know I keep saying it, but I really should install my other, get the other, my other tablet installed with this computer. So, because I will say, XP Pen, I've only had them, definitely not as long as I had my Bamboo or my Wacom. But I feel like this gave me more problems a lot sooner than when I had my Wacom. But still, overall, as for the price, definitely still a tablet I would recommend for beginners, especially if you want something that is, I don't want to say cheap, but at a reasonable price and pretty good quality. Not to mention they have a nice variety of different styles when it comes to tablets. They have a good variety. I feel like I need to draw him a little more further away because his arm is going to be too short if I put him... actually, we'll draw him out and see how far we get. I think that there's going to be a tilt in his shoulder, but I think that's a little too dramatic for a tilt. But I also think that's too far up his jawline. I'm going to go ahead and make Iwi Izumi a little bit, or Oikawa a little lighter so I can see what I'm doing. Nah, I really have to clean this apartment sometime at some point. Just been like so busy with the market and then the shop launch. Like my apartment is in shambles right now. He is going to be behind Oikawa to a certain extent because there's going to be the bench right here. So he's going to have some space between him and the bench. So I know it looks very janky, but right now it's just literally get the shapes into place and then we'll worry about proper details in a hot minute. I also think I may have gotten the curve of the torso wrong because this is the part that always gets me because yeah, if he's gonna be leaning over into Oikawa, this the side that is towards Oikawa is going to be bent, and then the curve is going to show up on the other side. Okay. Okay. Can maybe even move that foot a little closer to the other one. And I know no one can see it, but yes, I did stand up just to kind of mimic the pose. And Oikawa's hand is right here. I know I want Iwaizumi to interact with the blade of the knife in some way. Because originally I was thinking let Iwaizumi hold the knife, but maybe have him maybe like stroke the blade or something. Okay. I think that's enough for getting a shape in. I'm gonna up the opacity on like how a little bit more because I do need to get them to scale with each other. I think Iwaizumi is a little tall for what he is right now, so we're gonna make him a little shorter, either by a combination of maybe bringing up the legs and lowering his torso a little bit too, because he is on the tall side. Again, I think the sketching process is probably one of my favorite parts about it, is because it's literally where everything begins to kind of take shape. And it's part of the process where, yeah, everything looks like a horror show, but at the same time, it's also like the foundations and where you're doing a lot of troubleshooting to figure out poses, how people fit in a three-dimensional space. Um, I think like when it comes to my drawing process, like the most time and like the most intensive parts of the process for me are the sketching. One, sketching, and then two, rendering. Coloring for me, coloring and line art for me are like the two parts of the process where my brain can kind of relax a little bit more because it's not thinking as much in terms of composition and does the anatomy make sense? Does this lighting is this lighting believable? Is the shading believable? Are these proportions believable? And then when it comes to colors, colors can be a challenge for me still. But over the years, like I've taken the time to teach myself a little bit more about color theory and understand why certain colors work and why certain ones may kind of have a little bit more of a clash if you don't work with them. Um, I don't want to say correctly because color combinations is still something that's going to be very subjective. So yeah, it's like for me at least, what colors work well, and at the very least, like when you already have the bases down, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of just swap colors out until you find a combination that fits the piece best. And when you understand that when you're dealing with colors, the more colors that you have to manage, the more difficult a palette becomes. But if you keep things simple, then keep things simple and don't try to use the same amounts of every color. Like it, I've colors were one of the things I struggled with a lot. So I did a lot of like research when it came to color theory and stuff like that. Especially since I worked in web development, and understanding how to do graphic design is kind of like a different ballpark compared to illustration work. But there's still a lot of like the basics that apply between the two. So yeah, I've done a little bit of graphic design and web design, so I kind of forced myself. I don't want to say forced, but I did teach myself a little bit of color theory and understanding why certain colors work and why some don't. I took quite a bit of time because color theory was one of the things that usually got me hung up because I would get stuck on so many small details. I have so many things open for the sub view because I don't need these references anymore. I need a new Izumi reference, which I apparently do not have because it's not. Oh crap. Okay. Do not have an Iwa-chan reference. Okay. Well, I could. My laptop is hot right now. Unimpressed father. So right now, position of his eyes. So, oh Jesus, my finger. What the fuck was that? So, I think I kind of learned my lesson with Oikawa. Draw in the eyes first, and then work everything else around it, which you'd think I'd understand that about myself. And that's the thing, is like for me, usually eyes are where I begin any piece. And I remember this was floating around at some point too. Like it was a Tumblr post or something, and pretty much the question was, artists, when you begin a new piece, where do you begin? And it'd be interesting because you'd see a lot of people say, oh, I begin with the head, or I begin with the eyes, I begin with the mouth, I begin with the nose, I begin with all this and that. So for me, like the starting point is usually the eyes. Like I spend so much time drawing out the eyes, and I think like drawing I think eyes are one of my favorite parts of the body to draw. Least favorite part of the body to draw are feet. Feet and hands. Weirdest part of the body, in my opinion. His eyes are gonna get smaller. Gonna have to get smaller. Ooh, wait. Okay. Okay, no, I just had it rotated differently. And this is like one of those things that I will, I just want to get the rough eye shape. I know they're not the same, they're not identical, but right now that's where we're gonna get started. And I think his face is a little on the chubbier side, isn't it? I feel like his face is on the chubbier side. I always feel like Iwaizumi's face is a little bit more rounder compared to Oikawa's. But I don't know if that's just Furudate Sensei's art style. I feel like the haiku boys really do have like rounder face shapes, like all things considered. Also, I posted the stream schedule onto my card, and we'll be doing a crochet stream tomorrow. So I wanted to start doing more crochet streams, especially since the Muse seems to be pretty good for setting up for that like little overhead view. Part of me wonders if I could have just used my phone camera, but that's pondering for a different day. Okay, so I think collarbone should be up here. Yeah, he's definitely. I think where I was really screwing up with Oikawa a lot was just a combination of drawing in the face shape first instead of just like beginning with the eyes like I usually do, because like I said, like for me my starting point are usually the eyes, and the eyes are pretty much what I use to gauge everything. So like right now they're a little on the big side. I will be shrinking them down a little bit more so they fit the proportions. They fit proportions a little bit better. I feel like we'll see. We'll see how I fix the eyes, because anime eyes are supposed to be big, but I do kind of want to get them on the smaller side. And yes, I must draw them naked first. Like Oikawa's shoulders are wide. Iwa Izumi's shoulders are not wide enough. But that also feels like it could be because I'm putting him too close to Oikawa as well. Yeah, definitely too close to Oikawa. And one of the things like I realize about myself is that like I don't make the shoulders big enough sometimes, and I think that kind of throws off my arms as well. Yeah, we're gonna have to move him over a little bit. I don't know why my brain's like drawing the abs, drawing the abs. You need to draw on the abs. I'm like, the abs are nowhere. They're gonna be nowhere to be seen in this piece. No, my streak ended with my wife. When I say wife, I mean Liza. I'm not married. I'm single. And Liza's also married, but she's my wife. Her husband just needs to share her with me. That's all there is to it. I feel like his upper torso is, I think, is fine. His legs just feel a little bit on the long side. Yeah, his legs are on the long side. I'll move him back because I okay. His legs are definitely on the long side. I don't think that was. I didn't need to do that drastic of a transformation. Okay, so one, move him downward and then shift him a little bit more to the left. Maybe I should stop Iwaizumi here and then get Matsune and Maki blocked in as well. I keep forgetting. Weather is weird. The weather has been so weird lately. Like one day it'll be hot, the next day it'll be cold. Well, to be honest, it's just been mostly windy, but weather's been so weird this summer. Like, full honesty, the weather has been so weird. Okay, Akawa's knife is there. See, but that's the thing. If I make him like that tall versus Oikawa's sitting height, I feel like that's too short for Yuizumi. Because that implies there's a much more significant size difference between the two of them, and honestly, their size difference is not that big. Like, yeah, Iwaizumi is shorter than Oikawa, but not by much. At least it doesn't feel like it's by a lot. Okay, so maybe we move him up a little bit more again. And I will make his legs a little bit longer, but not as long as they were. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. There are some things I can still fix about his body shape. No, he's not bored. He looked a little too bored in my opinion. Or maybe we could portray him a little bit more bored. They are supposed to be serial killers. Well, no, they're serial killers. They would be excited. Unless it was like a boring chase. Okay, let's move on to the next sketch. And going to improve a few things because like he's a little too slim and lean. I think I'm gonna bulk him up a little bit more. His eyes can potentially do a little bit more detail on the eyes. And I can maybe go smaller. There we go. Okay. Might be a good idea to pull up a quick I need a reference. Right, I forgot. I don't know if it's always one thing or another when it comes to Windows, because my trackpad stopped working. My trackpad stopped working for a good while. It came back and then it went away again. It's like, why? ¿Por qué? Actually, there's one more thing I do need to check on really quick. Also, sorry the vlog is late. It's just been taking forever to upload. You know, I think I'm gonna do a ruler because he is facing forward, so I'll set up a ruler. It's not a ruler, that's not true. Oh, crap. Forgot to turn off the ruler. I need that stupid hamster get out of my head. Yeah, because his... I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I think that's one of the things that I really love about Furudate Sensei's art style is like the eyes are all very distinct. Like nobody has the same eye. Well, there are similar eye shapes, but like there are clear distinctions. Oh, sweet. My eye placement wasn't all too bad. It was actually pretty good. How's that for symmetry? His nose is off, though. His nose is off. No one asked about the nose. The nose is always something that I choose to mess around with quite a bit. Okay, I may have done that slant a little too exaggerated, but I stand by my symmetry was not bad this time. But they are a little too slanted. I will say that. They are a little too slanted. But I did good on the symmetry. Symmetry, like when it comes to the eyes, is like one of the hardest things to pull off. Also, did confirm the table. So we got approved for anime fuse. So I'll be tabling my first convention come September, and I'm super excited. Which means I talked about this with the blog. Like I can feel it in my body that like all the grinding for the market and then the shop prep has really like caught up with me. But I now have a convention to prep for, and I do want to bring more stuff. I do want to bring more stuff with me, so I'm actually going to be good though and schedule myself out and try not to overwhelm myself, like especially now that I have a better idea of how long it takes to make certain things. I'm planning to schedule it out a little bit more better so that it's something that I can get done within a reasonable amount of time. And I realize like one of the things I wish I would have done better. I'm thinking of prioritizing anything having to do with illustrations because those are the things that need to get sent off to a manufacturer. And while I'm waiting for the manufacturer, then I can focus on amigurumi, because there are a few amigurumi that I do want to bring, and I do want to expand to other fandoms as well. Like one thing for sure, I've been wanting to do these for the longest time. Um, but I'm thinking of making a couple of Usagi Madokis, because like I Noise is one of my well Noise is my favorite character from DMMD. So like I've always wanted to make or crochet a couple of Usagi Madokis. But I just never had the opening to do it. And I'm thinking like, yeah, I could I when is Nitro Chiral's anniversary? Because I've been seeing quite a few anniversary events for them, and may have bought a few things from Japan in honor of the anniversary. But no Noise, mainly Alba, and oh Tao, no Tao, no not Tao. I wow, okay, that was bad. Okay, we're not gonna. Okay, we'll give Iwaizumi his eyes later, or his pupils later. Um, because I know I was low key kind of freaked out by that. We'll see what his lips are gonna look like later. Later. And one of the things I always forget is that eraser does not really apply all too well when the symmetry ruler is on. But anyway, anime fuse. So I told myself I would slow down, but looks like I'm not slowing down anytime soon. Oh, your girl is like, I know I keep saying that I don't want to like burn myself out, but I keep doing the opposite of the things that will sustain me for the long term. But I also would like for my business to do well. I remember saying that that angle was a little too dramatic. And I think that is the it end for, oh no, not showing all layers. I think that is it for the ruler, because this is where it does kind of begin to. If I could at least get his pecs in here. Ooh, my neck. But yeah. Anyway, anime fuse. So I'm thinking I want to bring a couple of new items. So I want to do the second set of Lad's Myths. So now that I have a bit of a better process, I am going to batch the boys up and pretty much again work on all the sketches first and all the line art, then all the coloring, and then each will get done like bit by bit when it comes to rendering. So definitely do want to bring more of the lads chibis along with me. I'm gonna give priority to the second round of myths, even though I do want to do a set for Catch 22. But that's gonna come at a later date. Right now, I kind of just want to prioritize the myths, and also still have the stripper AU or pole dancing, whatever you want to call it at this point. So I do have those illustrations of the boys pole dancing, and those have been sitting in the whip bin because of the market prep and of the shop prep. So they've been sitting in the whip bin waiting for their turn again. So I'm probably gonna put in an effort to get those done in. I'm gonna put in an effort to get those done soon, so that way, one, they're off of my whip bin or out of the whip bin. Two, I think that's gonna be one of like the quicker wins for like a newer illustration to bring with me, especially one that is a little bit more on the it's not like 100% adult, but it's a little bit more on the suggestive side. Because I do plan to bring Joseph with me. It would be nice to get more Identity 5 stuff on the board, but I guess I could bring in. I don't really have as many ideas when it comes to Identity 5. I do have like templates for the TR Boba charms that I do want to bring along. Yep, got him buffer. I got him buffer. Although again, I think like he's not wide enough compared to Oikawa, because Oikawa came out pretty wide. And when it comes to builds, I always picture Iwizumi as a little bit more again, wider than Oikawa. Oikawa is more leaner compared to Iwizumi. Iwizumi, I like to give him bulk. He needs bulk. And it's, again, a situation of, is anyone even going to see his muscle when I put clothes on him? I could always give him a tank top or a muscle top or muscle shirt. Muscle top, muscle short shirt. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, I'm actually gonna like schedule myself a little bit better this time around when it comes to prepping for this convention, because I want to be realistic with myself, because it's coming up in September. That only gives me around like 3 months to really prep and get things ready. Not to mention, in that time, my parents will be coming by for a visit. So I was also gonna say my birthday, but no, my birthday is after the convention. My birthday's after the convention, so that's not going to be anywhere like near concerned. But funny enough, the friend I will be sharing a table with, her birthday is during the event, so I'm gonna have to think of something special to do for her. Because like I kind of feel bad. I don't know if her family will come up with her, like if they'll come drive up for a bit. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. Because there's a part of me that also feels bad because I'm taking her away from her family to do this event. So I really hope we do well. And I low key kind of want to see if we can set up a tip jar that's like birthday girl, birthday dinner tip. Also, I don't know, is Anime Fuse like a ribbon convention? Does anybody like, would anyone know that information? Because according to the Spirit, they're a much newer venue. His midsection moved lower. And so did his hip. I'm not as fixated when it comes to drawing out the anatomy, because their bodies are all going to get covered by clothing in this case. So I'm not as worried about accurate anatomy, just something that gets them within range of proper proportions. I feel warm, but there's a breeze, and I feel confused. But yeah, if anything, more things that I'm going to be bringing into this convention. I do want to do the Femboy, Catboy, and Twink stickers. Those are for sure going on the I must have these done for this convention. I am going to do like a couple of generic ones as well. But for the most part, other fandoms I want to bring along with me. DMMD is going to be there through Sagi Madoki because I really want to crochet a couple of those rabbits, and I know there's gonna be like BL fans at that convent, or like there's bound to be like a few Fujoshi. There's going to be Fujoshi. So, classic. I'm gonna crochet a couple of Sagi Madokis. If anything, those are gonna be lower price items because I'm just gonna make tubes. And I'm undecided. Well, I want to say I'm undecided on the type of yarn I'm gonna use for them, but when I think about the yarn that I do have available at my disposal, like when it comes to the colors for Asagi Madoki, I don't think I have anything in the velvet or in the baby yarn to pull off Asagi Madoki. Oh, I'm also going to be bringing an Usachan because I do have an Usachan in the works. Like I started working on that Usachan primarily because I wanted to get rid of my blanket yarn. So I do have an Usachan in the whip bin as well. There's a part of me that feels like his proportions are a little bit off, but I'll address that. I'll address that later. It's going to be a later problem. But yeah, so I do have an Usachan in the whip bin that I think is relatively close to finished, all things considered, because I already have his head, I have his body, I just need to crochet his arms, legs, and ears. And I'm learning from the two-headed bear that I may not want to stuff the arms so much. So that needs to wait. Yeah. I don't want to stuff the arms so much. That's a femur. Don't quote me. I don't know actual anatomy. Just enough to draw. I think that's a femur. I don't know what a femur is. Funny enough, I've never taken an anatomy class for like I've never had to take it for science, and I haven't never taken it for art. Should I consider taking an anatomy class? Maybe. Because understanding how the muscles work or how the muscles move when you're drawing is very helpful. That foot is so very out of place. His legs, like he's got legs for days. I made his legs long. I feel like I made his legs long. His legs look long. And debating if I want to do Tokyo Revengers or swap out Tokyo Revengers for Identity 5. That's where my brain is at. Like, I'm debating, should I do Identity 5 or should I do Tokyo Revengers? When is the new season for Tokyo Revengers releasing, actually? Because if it's releasing, like, sometime in September, there might be hype around it again. And I know, like, IDV is, like, one of the more, I don't want to say niche, but definitely not, like, the world's biggest fan base, at least in the West. His elbow needs to be on his head. His elbow should be right there. No one make fun of his hand or his arm. I know they look weird. Let it look weird for a little bit. This part is a little too rounded too soon. There's also Higurashi. I want to make some things for Higurashi, but I don't know if I'll have time. Because the thing is, it's like if I'm gonna draw some of these characters, like I want to draw them in sets. So for example, Higurashi, if I do that, it's gonna have to be the full cast, including Satoshi. Okay. Yuzumi is another one whose hair is gonna give me a little bit of problem, but not as big of a problem as Oikawa because he's a spiky boy. And see, that's the thing with at the very least with Iwizumi, he doesn't have like a central line. Everything is spiked up, so I can maybe get away with a few things. Make him look like a little bit of a hedgehog. Just kind of ignore his hair for right now. I'll get proper references for all the boys, but for right now, just trust the process, guys. Just trust the process. Just trust the process. Just trust the process. All you gotta do is trust the process. It's got a little bit too much cake. Ouch. I was waxing my lips over the weekend, and I think I ripped off some skin near my lip. It kind of hurts. I think we got a pretty decent set of proportions for you, Izumi, all things considered. Oikawa's hand, when it comes to the knife, don't have that fully drawn in yet. So we'll see what the perspective for the hand looks like because the blade is somewhere around here. And then, if anything, this shoulder is going to come out here. And this is going to... I think we are going to give him like a muscle top. Because we cannot hide those arms. His arms are too glorious to hide. Okay. For the most part, they all tend to be pretty covered up. Ooh, but I'm so excited for Joey's mask. Oh no, wait. Matsun is modeled after Joey. I was supposed to model Iwaizumi after Susie. Well, that's gonna be... Oh, wait, was it Susie? Caps lock is on for some indiscernible reason. Was Maki supposed to be after? Obviously I've got my characters all up and confused. Yeah, Maki was gonna be modeled after Julie. I need to pull up all our masks. I need to get back into DBD. I dropped off shortly after the Dredge released. Or maybe not shortly after the Dredge. I still hung around for a little bit because around that time period I discovered IDV and my attention fully went into IDV. but I think I was still kind of paying attention. I don't know the names of the hunters when I dropped off, but I do know what they look like. What is it? I know Cyborg Lady was one of them. You had like that one queen with the dogs, and then yeah, that's and then the very like that very how do I explain it? That very disfigured. I don't know what it is, but it's very disfigured. And I think there's something about me and some forms of body horror that I just can't really like my monster loving, to put it in nice terms, abilities kind of just like decrease when it comes to more body horror, more grotesque portrayals of the human body. Should Iwaizumi have his bare arms out? Like maybe not. I just feel like that is a police evidence risk, but that is he's hot, Your Honor. He's hot. I think we can make him go. I'm low key just thinking, what if we just don't give him a shirt on top of that? Jesus Christ, I'm too thirsty for this man. Anyway, we'll give shirtless Iwaizumi time to shine some other day, but not today. But that was a pleasant thought. That was a very pleasant thought. But I do want to like maybe a muscle, like a tight fit muscle shirt, and then like we might go with a tight fitting muscle shirt actually. Maybe like crop it a little bit. Well, okay, now his muscles matter. Did I draw Oikawa abs? Oikawa's. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Several undiagnosed mental health problems, maybe. Maybe we give him a muscle shirt. I don't know, but he's got juicy thighs and juicy arms. Okay, I think we're good with Iwaizumi up to that point. Um, again, main goal here is just to get everybody blocked in. Then we'll go in and add in their details later. So once again, because they all revolve around Oikawa, Oikawa is like I think Iwaizumi worked out pretty well for this one actually. He worked out pretty well. I'm gonna be fixing his legs. I don't think I'm gonna give. Honestly, I just want to give Iwaizumi tight fitting clothes. I genuinely just want to give him tight fitting clothes. I think we're gonna give him tight fitting clothes. Which I probably should have given that to Oikawa too, but I think Iwaizumi gets the tight fitting clothes. And then we'll give Oikawa the leather jacket so he doesn't look like he's just wearing sweats and I'm somehow more thirstier for Iwaizumi than Oikawa now for some reason. It's the arms. It's the arms. Like, please just smash my head in your biceps. It's the arms. It's the arms. It's 100% the arms. Okay. I'm going to begin blocking out Matsune, which surprising to me that we made it this far. Because given how long it took me to figure out Oikawa. But I'm okay with Iwaizumi the way he is now because we have a general body shape and I'm pretty happy with his proportions. His legs might still need a couple of more adjustments, but I think that is good enough for right now. And then Matsune is going to be in front of Oikawa, so he's going to have to be the set of folders before him. And part of the reason why I'm going with Matsun first is because Maki will eventually be sitting in Matsun's lap, so it makes more sense to begin with Matsun so we can help set up for Maki. Oh god, this file is going to be so big. It's got so many layers. It's a nice breeze. Okay, so the thing is, like, for one, Maki's head is more than likely going to be rested over here. Initially, I was... See, that's the thing. If I put them both between Oikawa's legs, I don't think Maki and Matsun will fit comfortably. So, like, what I was thinking, just have Maki, like, rested on the inside of... But then I don't really have much room for or Matsun on this side. Again, there's like... They're all fitting in here, like, to the seams. So I will be shrinking them down at some point, just not yet. Maybe I should shrink them all down now. Okay, I think I do need to make Oikawa a little bit smaller so that it fits Iuizumi's proportions a little bit better. But that's why they're all on separate backgrounds. But for right now, I just don't feel confident about the amount of space I have to draw in Matsun. But I think this is the benefit of having them all in separate layers, is that I can just move them around later. But again, moving them around later will probably lead to issues because I will have to... It's going to affect how they all fit and drape on top of each other because Matsun... See, the thing is, if Maki's going to be resting his head here, like, and if he's going to be seated in Matsun's lap, where does Matsun go? Because what I was thinking for Matsun, his pose was going to be more of... So Matsun's pose would be more along the lines of leg up, arm rested, and then this one folded, and then this is where Maki's ass would be. So Maki would literally be using Oikawa's leg as a pillow, and then resting his ass on the inside of Matsun's leg. So his leg would need to be here, but he'd also end up sitting on Oikawa's foot at this range, but he's also a little too small at this scale. And then resting his arm there, because his other arm was going to be draped alongside Oikawa's thigh like that. But at this scale, this doesn't make sense. And it is now 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to have to call it for the evening. Oh, average. But yeah. It's 10 o'clock now. I do need to get ready for bed. And so I will go ahead and end the stream here. And thank you everyone for joining me again. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And just to give you guys like a better preview of the full piece. So this is where we're at so far. Thankfully got Iuizumi blocked in. Next one is going to be Matsun. And so yeah, it's going to be a matter of figuring out where to place Matsun in the larger scale of things, given how he's going to be interacting with not just Oikawa, but also Maki. And it's going to be figuring out where I think I might need to work on both of them at the same time, or at least put their stick figures in for at the same time. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight's stream. So thank you for joining me again this evening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night, everyone.